This is a review of Burn the Witch. It's Tite Kubo's next project. The one he made. It started after Bleach finished. This is going to be a bit different because I already watched all 3 episodes on Crunchyroll. I figured I'd review them just because I liked Bleach and figured this would be similar. It's something I'm watching, so why not review it? After this is done, I might start reviewing Bleach also, since the Thousand Year Blood War is gonna be adapted. I haven't read the manga, so I don't know about it, but we'll see if that happens or not. I'm not sure yet. This is a weird thing for me to review because it's not traditionally something I would watch. I don't really watch magical girl stuff, and this isn't exactly that, but it basically is. There just wasn't a lot of, it's not a fight heavy thing. It's not focused on this. The series isn't focused on fights, so I had kind of trouble thinking of stuff to talk about. So at the beginning, we have Nini, the protagonist. She's complaining about fairy tales and how they're bullshit. And she's wearing some clothes, makes it look like she's a model. These photographers harass her because I guess she's famous, I don't know. She flashes her phone like it was a picture, but it's some kind of flash that is like a stun grenade and they can't see. And she runs away, and then she goes down an alley and takes a picture of a coin, which allows her to phase into reverse London through the ground. And it's very interesting that phones play such a pivotal role in this, the way that this society works, I guess, because they're constantly on their phones doing stuff. It's just weird. And as far as I know, from what I've read about this series, Burn the Witch is set in the same universe as Bleach. So you would expect to see a lot of similarities between them. But there really aren't as many as you would expect. And it's something I'm probably going to keep bringing up. But anyways, we meet the secondary protagonist named Noelle. She starts kind of saying an enchantment before using a what they call a magic number. And it launches an attack, and that's basically the same thing that Kido did in Bleach. They would say, it was an enchantment, and then Hado, whatever, and fire something. And it's basically the same thing. It's the same principle. So that is one thing that is like constant between the two things. But there still should be more, in my opinion. Interestingly, though, differently from the Zanpakuto, Noelle needed to use her magic pipe to use her magical ability. And that's different than the Soul Reapers, because Soul Reaper, or the Shinigami in Bleach, the Soul Reapers, they use their Kido separately from their Zanpakuto. You know, the Zanpakuto was a tool in and of itself. This seems like they need a tool just to use their abilities, so that's interesting and different. They're hunting dragons in this universe, and I was wondering, how does that relate to Bleach? There's dragons that inhabit reverse London, which is essentially the Seireitei, the Soul Society equivalent in Bleach. You know, you had Karakura Town, and then the flip side of that would be the Soul Society. And I'm just wondering how this reverse London, front London situation, I see how it's like that, but the whole dragon thing is weird. I know, as far as I know, there was never explored a there was never explored like animal species in Bleach. They had secondary humanoid things, you know, the filler had bounce and some other stuff. There was obviously the Quincy's. I think they inhabited the Soul Society as well. I might be wrong. They might have been in the World Living. I'm not sure. It's just weird. There's these dragons, and I'm wondering, like, are these supposed to be hollows or like hollows? How? If this is set in the same world as Bleach, you would expect that, you know, they're also dealing with hollows coming from Wickelmundo. They might have a Garganta open up once in a while. That's what you would expect. But it seems like they're just dealing with dragons, and I don't see how they wouldn't ever deal with hollows. And that's one thing I'd probably keep bringing up is where are the hollows? Why don't they deal with hollows? Why do hollows come all over the place in Karakura Town, but they don't come to London? That doesn't make sense to me. So I'm curious what these dragons are, you know, where the hollows are, because it doesn't have to be exactly like Bleach, but as far as I know, this is set in the same universe, and if it's set in the same universe, you expect to see some bleeding over, especially when it comes to hollows, because that's how the life works in that world, is you die, you either become a soul and go to the Soul Society, or you don't and become a fucking hollow. And so you expect to see some hollows, in my opinion. There are people that just live here, just like the Serete, so I'm assuming that they're just, it's a similar thing where they just live, and it's different because they're in different areas. That's been brought up before, that this is like Eastern, or this is Western, and Japan is the Eastern branch of the world of the Soul Society, I guess. I don't know. It's just strange. It's very strange. God damn it. Hold on. Oh, it's coming. Yeah, it's just weird. You know, I don't dislike that Reverse London is different. It has like cars and phones. I get that the Soul Society is feudal Japan. This is, you know, London thing. I get all that. It's just strange that the two things are so vastly different when they're set in the same universe. There's this dragon named Asushi that is a dog with wings. Well, a dragon seems to be a very vague term, because earlier we see like a deer dragon, and there's some other kind of dragon. The sushi's a dog dragon. This can be all kinds of dragons, apparently. I really liked the music and the art and the animation. They were very good. The character of Balgo, I don't have a lot of opinions on him. I don't know that I dislike him yet, but I do dislike that he like is constantly smiling and never really expresses anything. It's very strange to have a character that just almost never changes his expression. If someone makes contact with the dragon, apparently there's some kind of issue with it, so they have a law against that. So when Balgo crashes into this roof and knocks down this guy who's working on a chimney, there's a concern he may have come in contact with the sushi. So Noelle pulls out her phone or something, and is gonna take his DNA to make sure he didn't come in contact with the dragon. And there's just this weird, overly sexual scene where he's like slowly coming in to lick it. It's really strange. I don't know why they made that scene so overly sexual, but they did. A big white dragon pops down. It looks like a Pokemon or a Digimon. It's very different. Not sure what to think about it. We find out that Balgo is a dragon-clad, which means that he can interact with dragons, but no one else can. As they're fighting the dragon, Noelle shoots a blue ball that's similar to the Shakaho, which was the, I think, Kata number 33. It was a red blast that was used quite often in Bleach. And it like hits it in the chin and knocks it out, and then it's called a stun ball. It's called a stun ball. And when the dragon falls back into a house, the front of its face falls off, so apparently the stun ball sliced through it somehow. It's very strange. Then the dragon turns kind of dark and begins chasing after them. They call in a dragon emergency protocol because they can't defeat it. And this is very interesting and points to something darker within this organization that they work for. They write down the name of the word, Wingbind, yeah. It's really weird. There's something darker going on. Because it locks down the streets. And it locks windows. And in theory that makes sense. Because you think, well, they're stopping people from getting to where the dragon is. But you could also look at it as they're stopping people from getting away from the dragon. Because the closing the streets and the windows doesn't stop the dragon from getting around the town. It's going to bust through everything. So really, what is that doing? And then the weirder part is that it blocks phone service. Their phone service is like taken over by Wingbind. Which is really strange. I think there's going to be something much darker with that. We'll find out their organization has something else going on entirely. But, yeah, I've definitely made note of that. They mentioned the Sabres. Nini wants to be a member of the Sabres. I'm assuming they're the elite organization of Wingbind. They're the best of the best. That's my assumption. It's based on the way they talked about it. Nini's goal is to become Saber, which if this becomes like a continuous series, I would assume that's where we're going to be, that's the story we're going to follow, is her trying to become a Saber. And I assume she would be successful in that, but that they would end up being pricks and treat her like shit, and then she'll find out that they're corrupt, and there would be a final conflict would be like Nini, Noelle versus the Sabers or something. The dark dragon can sense without its eyes. I wrote that down because, like I said, the front of its face falls off, and it has like the ocular muscles behind its eyes, but it doesn't have its eyes. But yet it sees and perceives everything. It finds Balgo. It's following them. It's very strange that it can just sense everything around it. We meet the Inks, who also appear to be some sort of elite dragon hunters. I don't know if they're connected to Wingbind. It seems like they are, because they were moving around it. So I wonder how they relate to this whole thing. What are the Inks and what are the Sabres? If Sabres are the elite, what the hell are the Inks, you know? I think that, again, since I think the Sabres will be evil, I think that the Inks, who are painted as looking evil right now, looking like antagonists, would end up being kind of the supporting cast for Nini and Noelle, and they would join the Inks to fight the Sabres in the end. That's my assumption, because that's just generally how these things go. It's just very weird to have like two different factions that are both like elite. The Inks look really good. This is some of where you see Kubo's character designs. He's fucking great at drawing them. I wish I would have wrote down some of what I thought about their designs, but they all had really interesting designs, and they're all very striking. I really like them. Like I said, I love Kubo's art. I think his art is some of the best art I've ever seen come out of an anime. Ulquiorra in particular it looks incredible during the fight with Bleach when he's going through his resurrections and stuff. But all of Kubo's designs are just great. He's very, very talented artist. Balgo is marked for death because the dragons are attracted to him, so I guess he's a threat to London because they'll keep coming after him. That's what I got out of that. Then we see a woman at the end with a dragon. Her name, I believe, was Mary, and she is like the main concern of this story. Not sure when I'm going to get around to reviewing the other 2 episodes. Hopefully soon, but some stuff's going on, so getting busy, unfortunately. But yeah. I liked Burn the Witch. I'd probably enjoy it more if I knew anything about Magical Girl stuff, but I really don't. But just it being a Kubo series, I do enjoy it a bit. I wish there was a little more focus on the action, but obviously that's not what the series is going to be about. But yeah, I hope to see more episodes of it in the future, and I hope I can review the next 2 episodes soon.